Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. My name is Sarah and today I'm here to talk about my August TBR. So we actually kind of have like a set theme for this TBR because I am going to be participating in the Summer Mixtape Readathon. So it's hosted by What Victoria Read, Literary Diversions, Books and Bargains, and Jean's Bookish Thoughts. I will link all of their channels down below. This readathon is going to be going from August 1st to the 14th. It's supposed to be super laid back. There is a kind of bingo board. I'll put it up here. Not all 9 of these prompts are like book prompts for your TBR. Actually 5 of them are book TBR prompts, and then 4 are more relaxing, not quite bookish prompts. Actually, I have 6 books for this TBR. I know there's 5 book prompts, but one of them I haven't decided which book I'm actually going to pick up for the prompt. I'm stuck between 2, so I figured I'd put them both here. Chances are I will not get through all 6 books in the 2 weeks, considering 5 to 7 books is usually how many I read in a month. So this TBR is going to be for the readathon, and I will read as many as I can in the 2 weeks, but this TBR is for the whole month of August, to be quite frank. So we're just gonna jump right into it. So the first prompt is Here Comes the Sun, and it is read a book with nature on the cover. Now this is the prompt that I am stuck between 2 books. So my 2 options that I'm giving myself are The Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel and Tripping Arcadia by Kit Mayquist. So we'll start kind of talking about this book first. We're following our main character who just dropped out of med school, and she's desperate for a job to help her parents out because her father was severely injured and just laid off, and so financially they are in a huge pinch, and so then she gets hired on by this super elite rich family in order to be kind of an assistant to the patriarch of the family, who's a doctor, as well as their son, who has kind of this mysterious illness. So that's her daytime job, and in the evening she kind of plays like maid and butler and hostess for this family's lavish parties that they host all throughout the night, filled with an incredible amount of debauchery. She soon learns that the patriarch of the family that she is assisting is responsible for her father's injury and thus loss of his job, and so she decides to get revenge. And I love this cover, and I love how it is described as perfect for the perfect next read for fans of Mexican Gothic, which I absolutely loved Mexican Gothic. So I'm really hoping that if I pick this book up for this readathon, it ends up living up to the hype that I built up in my head for this. And then, like I said, the other option for the book with nature on the cover prompt is The Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. I'm actually going to read the synopsis of this one because it is like kind of complicated. So it says, Edwin St. Andrew is 18 years old when he crosses the Atlantic by steamship, exiled from polite English society following an ill-conceived diatribe at a dinner party. He enters the forest, spellbound by the beauty of the Canadian wilderness, and suddenly hears the notes of a violin echoing in an airship terminal, an experience that shocks him to his core. 2 centuries later, a famous writer named Olive Llewellyn is on a book tour. She's traveling all over Earth, but her home is on the second moon colony, a place of white stone, spired towers, and artificial beauty. Within the text of Olive's best-selling pandemic novel lies a strange passage. A man plays his violin for spare change in the echoing corridor of an airship terminal as the trees of a forest rise around him. When Gasperi Roberts, a hotel detective in the black-skied night city, is hired to investigate an anomaly in the North American wilderness, he uncovers a series of lives upended. As the exiled son of an earl driven to madness, a writer trapped far from home as a pandemic ravages Earth, and a childhood friend from the night city who, like Gasperi himself, has glimpsed a chance to do something extraordinary that will disrupt the timeline of the universe. So I am very, very interested in kind of how this is all going to play out because this is a very short book. All of these books on this TBR are under 400 pages except for one, I think, because participating in the readathon, I wanted to try to get through as many as possible. This one is under 300 pages, and it has such a complicated, plot and an interweaving of various timelines that I'm really curious to see how Emily St. John Mandel ends up pulling this off. So the second prompt is Blame It on the Weatherman, and that is to read an unseasonable book, or unseasonal a book that's not set in summer. So for that, I picked A Forgery of Roses by Jessica S. Olsen. This is set in the dead of winter. I'll show you. This is the Owl Crate edition. We even have a cute wintry artwork on the reverse dust jacket. So in this book, we are following a portrait artist who has this ability that, if she paints something in a portrait, she can alter the person's whose portrait she's painting, their appearance. And so she is trying to keep this ability secret because obviously it could be used and abused. But while she's painting one woman's portrait, this ability gets discovered, and so the woman says that she will kind of keep the ability a secret if the portrait artist agrees to use this ability to bring her dead son back to life. But when she goes to kind of the family mansion, she quickly discovers that there might be some more nefarious reasons for the son's death than what she was originally led to believe. So it sounds like it's gonna be kind of a murder mystery with magic, and then there's a romance that's supposed to be sprinkled in here too. But I'm excited for it. I really haven't heard anybody talk about this book, so I'm quite interested to see kind of what it ends up kind of coming out to be. The third prompt is Cake by the Ocean, and that is read a book involving food, or you can take the alternate interpretation of the Cake by the Ocean song and read a spicy book. Now, I don't own any books about food. I looked on my TBR cart and I couldn't find any, so we're gonna go for the alternate version of this prompt, and I will be picking up a spicy book, and that is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. There's so much hype behind this book, so much hype, that I have been putting it off for that reason, because I'm afraid it's not going to live up to the hype, but also because I just don't read contemporary romances ever, very, very rarely. But it's been on my shelf because it sounds super cute, and it is one that I've just been really interested in. I actually don't know very much about it aside from the tropes involved. I know obviously we're set in we're set in a PhD research lab, but I know it involves fake dating, which the other contemporary romance that I've read semi-recently was The Dating Plan, and that had fake dating in it, and I really loved it. It was a lot of fun, so I'm hoping that this lives up to the hype that everybody has built up behind it. I also know that it is actually supposed to be a Kylo Ren and Rey from Star Wars fan fiction, an alternate universe fan fiction, which just cracks me up that a fan fiction ended up being published and became such a huge hit. So we'll see if I like it. So then the fourth prompt is we're going to Ibiza, read a book set in a different country. Now I'm stretching this a bit. You could just say I'm going the extra mile, and I'm not only leaving the country with this book, I'm leaving the planet. I'm technically leaving the universe because it's a fantasy book, but I'm leaving the planet, and I'm gonna be picking up Getting the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I had to get this one on this month's TBR because I have been desperate to pick up this series. I have had the first two books sitting on my cart for for a while now. I've been waiting until we get closer to the third book's release, which is in September, so I need to get cracking, and I needed to start this series this month. So Gideon the Ninth is set in space. The only thing I know about it, like definitively know about it, is the little like tagline down here. It says lesbian necromancers explore a haunted gothic palace in space, and that's all that I need to know, aside from the fact that everybody goes bananas over this series. People who have read it absolutely love it. I've never heard a bad thing about it. So this is another one that I'm like really nervous about picking up, but I'm really excited about it because I just have this feeling that I'm gonna absolutely love it. So the last prompt can either be treated as a free space or it can be treated as kind of like a mixtape prompt, which is read a book inspired by your favorite summer song. Now I'm taking the mixtape prompt, but by the end of like my explanation as to how I got to this book choice, you'll probably just be like, Sarah, just use the free space. But get ready, buckle up, because we have a journey of how I like got to my reasoning as to why I picked the book that I picked. So when I read the prompt that it said you're like a book inspired by your favorite summer song, all summer music went out my head, and the only thing I could think of was the song Summertime by Lana Del Rey. It's not her Summertime Sadness song, it's the other one, which I think isn't even an original song by her. I think it's a cover that she did, but it doesn't matter. That song is the only one that could stick in my head. So then I was thinking, well, what book would Lana Del Rey read? And for whatever reason, I am convinced that she's the type of person, or at least like the persona that she puts on like through her music, is the type of person that would be obsessed with Bunny by Mona Awad. Now, I've already read Bunny, but there's a book that's been sitting on my cart for a little while now, that I've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to pick it up, because the synopsis reminds me of Bunny. It just gives those kind of like creepy, like cultish vibes, and that is Jawbone by Monica Ojeda, and so that's why I picked this book up, because I feel like Lana Del Rey would like it, and this is one that I am going to read the back of, because it is, again, kind of complicated. It says, when Fernanda, Annalise, and their friends from the Delta Bilingual Academy convene after school, Annalise leads them in thrilling but increasingly dangerous rituals to a rhinestoned, Dior-scented drag queen god of her own invention. Even more perilous is the secret Annalise and Fernanda share, rooted in a dare in which violence meets love. Meanwhile, their literature teacher, Miss Clara, who is obsessed with imitating her dead mother, struggles to preserve her deteriorating sanity. Each day, she edges nearer to a total break with reality. Interweaving pop culture references and horror concepts drawn from Herman Melville, H.P. Lovecraft, and anonymous creepypastas, Jawbone is an ominous, multivocal novel that explores the terror inherent in the pure potentiality of adolescence and the fine line between desire and fear. So I don't know, that just like makes me think of Bunny. And so I am very excited about this one. It is also a translated work. I think it's translated from Spanish. I'm pretty sure it's translated from Spanish. And so that's another reason why I'm excited about it, because I've been wanting to pick up more translated works. But yeah, that is my pick for the mixtape prompt. So these are the books that I plan to read during the summer mixtape readathon, and whatever I don't get to during the 2 weeks that the readathon is going on for, I plan to hopefully get to during the last 2 weeks of the month. But if you've read any of these books or you're looking to read any of them, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're participating in the readathon, I'd love to know as well. I will be leaving the link to the readathon's Twitter down in the description, so if you want to join, which I highly encourage you to do, you can check out the link and check out when the reading sprints and live shows are happening. So I meant to mention this in the beginning, but I do plan on filming vlogs, reading vlogs for this readathon on I plan on just doing like the just weekly vlogs, so 2 of them, but I'm very, very excited. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you consider sticking around and subscribing, and as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!